KWCR, the Post-Ignorance Project, Kevin Blanch, live at Weber State University. We're going to talk marine biology, marine biology. Us marine biologists in the desert of Utah. We're going to talk a lot about that today. And the declassification of the nuclear waste, the whole geopolitical nightmare going with nuclearism, the pork, the money. First off, clean up a few things at Weber State University. As you know, people that follow me along, I had an accident last week. My truck caught on fire, burnt to the ground. Nightmare.
So
Yard-wise, well, when I was running around trying to put the fire out, I broke my ankle. And so it's bad. I can barely walk. I should be in California right now. I got my army pulling up the slack. You know, we had some low tides, which they weren't very low. I mean, I look back on it in the historic tide pool videos that I have and footage of post-Fukushima, which I have hundreds of them. God, I've worked so hard at it, catching it low and high tide, and we're so lucky that I got it. Like I said, I'm so athletic out in those pools at super low tide all up and down the coast because we just don't get low tides no more. I mean, it's so rare. They just don't happen. And Peter shot the low tide videos, you know, over at PB Point, which is the best tide pool in the world. And that's some heartbreaking news I have. San Diego, my second home. North PB, my little gem, the Beachcomber, that old hotel. I'm friends with the people that run it, own. I've been staying in that old dump for decades for chump change, and it's such a perfect place for me as the marine biologist. I can literally walk Tourmaline Canyon, PB Point, work La Jolla, take the bus out there. It's my perfect location. Gentrification of America, nothing authentic can stay. They closed this week. They're turning it down. I'm really heartbroken about it. The other Weber State we have to clean up is Weber State opens, you know, football at San Diego State. And I was just doing a little bit of work. The last time they opened at San Diego State was in the same division as Weber is now. A guy named Don Coryell, #1 team in the United States, 1967. Yeah, Weber had to go in to play those guys. I think they lost 53-19. You think that's bad? I think that San Diego State and Coryell beat everybody by 50 or 60 that year. So there's a lot of brew in the anti-nuclear establishment. Of course, you know, we get shiny balls, whatever comes out. Epstein Island. He should have been locked up years ago. Now, I like it how the right-wing, left-wingers are dividing up, especially the right-wingers on this. Look, it's Trump's cabinet guy, Acosta, that cut the deal that let him off, #1, and let's get real. You know, Kevin Blanch is the activist in New York City for years and years. I mean, that was my gig, even mostly pre-Fukushima. I mean, I was a social inequality activist. So we took on a lot of issues. Everybody knows Epstein never quit, you know. Some of the girls that were his hookers, teenage, ended up being the man. Everybody knows. So one of the whistleblowers filed suit. I know her very well. And, you know, she's done interviews all over that Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and Trump's attorney, Dershowitz, would go together to the Epstein bunny ranches, as they called them. That's what they called them. Not in my words. That's their words. You know, so Clinton and Trump are cut from the exact identical same cloth. Now, there's a Miss Utah here from this university, Miss Teenage Utah. She did plenty of interviews that Trump came up and basically molested her when she was 15 years old. Nothing comes of it. You know, welcome to America, because it's wealth and power. So let's get that out of the way, that wealth and power is worshipped by both parties. I mean, they're both just as guilty. I mean, this isn't about Democrats, Republicans, left, right. This is about class warfare. This is a elitist group. I like how people call them elite. They're not elites. You make them into elites. I mean, what's that old saying? They put their pants on one time. I mean, they're inherited wealth scumbags. You know, bloodlines, which we fought against all that. Has nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. They're both the exact same party anymore. They're corporatists on their knees, freaking bowing to any wealth, no matter how you get it, doesn't matter where you get it, whatever. So let's get to the marine biology work. Kevin Blanch, the marine biologist. So this is powerful stuff that's going on. The media is so disgusting as far as Oregon, Washington, especially Alaska. Alaska's been caught in a court of law admitting they lie on their numbers. So listen, this is my work. As you know, anybody who's followed me along knows my marine biologist path. And boy, what a path it's been. So I'm going to show you this right here. The Newshak River, which dumps into Bristol Bay. That's the big river. That's the biggest king salmon. I hate that word, king salmon. There's Chinook. Okay. July 6th number, they had 526. Total of 38,850. Last year it was a horrible number. They had 76,000. 2 years ago was the worst in their history, 51,000. Pre-Fukushima, well, the year before that, 2015, let's see if we got it, 114,000 in, let's see, we're 2019, 18, 17, 16, I think it was 200,000, on to date. Now remember I did a video on this campus in January saying I was working with a biologist up there, you know, that put his number out. Said it's going to be a bad number, but even this is way under his projections. Now listen to me, this is real important. To anybody who's following along on Fukushima, the great cover-up, the nuclear disasters, I call it Fuktonium. You know, I like it how, oh, Fuktonium. Look, what happened to Fukushima, Japan has never happened. Never happened. Never happened. Hear me, read my lips, never happened. I've been saying that the whole time. Now, Lake Barrett came out on 60 Minutes 2,950 days later and said exactly, who I know personally. I know him personally. So, my hypothesis is it's a new energy. You know, how can we measure something we don't know what it is? Now, there's been a report this week in Turkey that some smugglers, a smuggling ring was busted in Turkey, smuggling $78 million worth of californium. What is californium? Californium is a man-made, from the centrifusion process, when they take uranium-238, turn it into 235, this man-made crazed process, which they make nuclear bombs out of, which the byproduct of nuclear energy, the waste that comes out, that's what they use to make nuclear bombs. They're symphony with each other. One is the other. When I hear these activists say, oh, we're not against the technology, we're okay, but we just don't against the bomb, they're fools. They're ignorant fools. You hear other activists say, oh, uranium comes from the earth. Natural. No, 238 does. This is not 238, this is 235. So why is it called California? Californium, because it was man-made. It was man-made in La Jolla. Speaking of San Diego universities, whoa. So this is a big story. How is it just one little news bleep that shows up on Reuters, and it doesn't even say anybody, who they were, what they were? 4 people have been detained in a smuggling ring, $78 million. Well, there's only 2 countries on earth that have any of this substance. It's yellow cake. It is the United States and Russia. It comes from nuclear reactors. You know, it's the... No, but that can be, you know, that's very real, by the way, but Fuktonium, you want to laugh at me? Are you laughing? I mean, there'll come a time when people aren't going to be laughing. I'm like, look, this is the greatest... Why do you think we're so afraid of nuclear meltdowns? And rightfully so. Einstein, all of us. Anybody in the science community is petrified of a nuclear meltdown. For this very said reason. Because it's going to create an energy we don't know what the hell it is. You know, it's like when they dropped Trinity in New Mexico. In the desert. Oh, excuse me. In New Mexico. Fermi, which I still say is Bezos' daddy. Look up Bezos, look up Fermi, tell me. Look up Bezos' real father. Bezos' real father was a nuclear physicist at Los Alamos who was charged with statutory rape. The child was taken away from the mother. kept the child. She married an oligarch named Bezos. You know, look at the pictures of the two. Bezos was in La Jolla. Bezos is the guy who came up with California. I mean, that's him. I mean, it's Leo the Lizard and Gang, Jonas Salk on Balco, right there in La Jolla. My place, tearing down the beachcomber, my spot. So, let's start at the beginning. Fukushima happens. I stand right out here by the pond and go crazy. Well, I did it first in my house. They're lying, they're lying. These are full-blown meltdowns. You know, I went to this university. I graduated the second time in '96. There was only 17 grads there at Clyde Cooley's infamous program, Dr. Hanley's infamous program. Two of the people that I graduated were heirs to the Japanese throne. Mikado and I were very close friends. Mikado means, literally, emperor in Japan. And his sister. I went to college with him here. I mean, we graduated, the 17 of us together, you know. I got a lot of early reports on Fukushima from them. They fled to Brazil, you know. These were gazillion. I mean, you're talking some of the richest people in the world. They had children by the time this happened. They fled. They're still not back in Japan, I can tell you that right now. So, of course, I've lost contact because of the State Secrets Act, circled the wagons in late 2012, classified Kevin Blanch. Think about that. So, when it happened, I'm like, they're lying, they're lying, they're lying. They're going to push this into the Pacific Ocean, and they're not going to tell you. They're going to circle the wagons, like they always do. So, as it went on, I says that they're going to push this into the Pacific Ocean. I mean, there's a video out there I did on April 1st, I believe, or April 3rd, 2011, when I verified that they were pushing, they were just dumping the water into the Pacific Ocean. And I'm going crazy. They're dumping plutonium into the Pacific Ocean, and God knows what. Again, plutonium. Is plutonium natural occurring? Same thing as California. No, it's created when they take the ore, the 238, they centrifuge it, they gas it. I was right here, and it releases these free radicals. Now you think about this, the free radical artist crew coming to me named free radicals. What's free radical? That's what we call cancer cells. Free radical, plutonium. You know, Californian. Now, why wouldn't this story be freaking all over everywhere? There's a little bleep out there. $78 million worth of yellow cake freaking... What? I mean, that's major bomb stuff. At the same time, we're beating the war drums for Iran, and that's on the front page of the USA Today. This whole thing stinks. I mean, the whole thing, you know, as I call it, sugar wars, molasses wars, textile wars. You know, in Europe, they don't call the Civil War in the United States the Civil War. They call it the textile war. You know, these wars are always fought off the wealth of the day, whether it be oil, sugar, molasses, you know, humans, slavery, textiles, cotton. You know, that's what these wars are fought about. You know, it's a power grab between oligarchs, wealth fighting wealth. You know, the Brownings here, this university, so many ties, the Eccles, tie in with the Littlefields, with the GE. I mean, it's all in symphony. Wealth and power merging together, you know. I mean, they have lovers' quarrels like Trump and Hillary. You know, and they fight like cats and dogs like an inbred family. But the bottom line, that's all it is. It's hyperbole. At the root and the structure of the foundational problem, they're not about to rock that boat. So I call this plutonium wars. So when it happened, I'm like, they're going to lie, they're going to lie, they're going to lie, they're going to lie. They're going to push it in the ocean. It's going to create an energy in the ocean that we don't know what it is. I named it the Pacific Genocide in very early days. And of course it's spread globally now. I mean, it didn't take long. I was on this university. There was a radnet dish up here at the Science Building. I went up there. I videoed it. They were taking it down. They wouldn't let me put the video. I put the video up on YouTube. It immediately went down, just like I put the videos up at the reactor in the Ukraine. Immediately go down when the rebels had circled it and threatened to blow it. You know, the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate runs this thing. Gina McCarthy was head of Radnet. Being such a good soldier for Obama, which I call Barry Antoinette, let them eat yellow cake, he made her head of the EPA. Now, I love how we let all these people off the hook. Gina McCarthy. How about Lisa Jackson? Wasn't she head of the Obama EPA? How about Scotty Pruitt? He's in Morocco getting a back rub? Well, that's where all these university professors are. You know, It's usury. It's, you know, the decadence of usury. You know, they're making so much money. They really think they're something. Government employees that don't do anything. Surfers who can't surf. You know, skiers who can't ski. Teachers who can't teach. Scientists who are mystified, baffled, puzzled, stumped, perplexed, bewildered. Now you think about that. Start going through it. There are literally thousands and thousands of media report interviewed with college professors, marine biologists, government officials, state, local, every one of them, verbatim, mystified, baffled, puzzled, perplexed, stumped, bewildered. I can go on and on and on and on and on. Well, are they all in golden handcuffs? Are they all willing to stand down and bow? Now, I know the word Fukushima has been classified. I know that for a fact. You know, and I got classified. That happened in late 2012. They pushed it via the Patriot Act into the underground court. We had hearings the same time Megan Rice, the nun who broke into Y-12, you know. And I talked to Megan Rice recently, too, in D.C. I straightened them out, plowshares. Plowshares used to tote this line. You know, so does ICANN. Oh, we're not against nuclear act. We're just against nuclear bombs. I says, do you realize how ignorant of statements that is? Californium, plutonium. Where do you think they get the stuff to make nuclear bombs from the waste of the freaking nuclear reactors? They're twins. They're Siamese twins, like the Clintons and the Trumps. They're the exact identical evil twins. You know, power grab freaks. What do you think this whole Epstein thing's about? Teenage girl? I mean, it's about power. They're sickos. Narcissistic sickos. The abused become the abuser. Bill Clinton's own book says he was abused. So does Hillary say in her own book she was abused. You know, I still say he's Winthrop Rockefeller's son. You know, and Barack Obama, read his own book. Abused by the stepfather. I mean, they find these abuse. I mean, whoa. Trump, that's just a narcissistic born with a silver spoon. So I mean, his father, he is his father. Old man Trump, I can't pay the rent. Old man Trump, his dad, there you go, right there. Yankee Hotel, you know, Woody Guthrie on Balco. I did it out there. I was out there on Coney Island at Brookhaven. I did a spoof on Woody Guthrie's piece. Trump's old man looted the hell out of the government housing. I mean, that's where he got his dime, you know. Trump's dad used to run hookers just like Epstein. Teenage hookers. Hello, so did Granddaddy. So did Bill Eugenics Gates' granddaddy, you know, old Seattle. I mean, these are the same cut from the same cloth clan. You know, one day you wake up and realize that. And nuclear energy is their biggest power technique. Look, you don't have to bomb a country. Blow a reactor, Chernobyl. You know, these places are poked. You don't talk about a nuclear bomb. We bombed ourselves. Nevada test site killed my father. Gave me leukemia. Now my little nephew, great nephew, he has the exact disease as my father. Neuroblastoma in a 3-year-old. He turned 3 just a couple days ago. He's in his 4th round of chemo down at Primary Children's fighting for his life. It's like Rakata Iki, you know, the 2020 games. So in the early days, I said they're going to lie, they're going to cover it up, they're going to cover it up. You know, why they're trying to get a handle on this. The transcript inside the Situation Room was leaked to me. I know it word for word. I used to dance around it so I wouldn't get locked up and thrown in prison. I mean, Barrett Brown, I knew Aaron Swartz personally. I knew that Barrett Brown had been put in prison for simply forwarding a link he didn't even open. He did how many years in prison? You know, there's 2 people that founded the Million Mass March. The Million Mass March was founded in Boston and Weber State University. I founded it. Me and John Anthony Fairhurst. We're the ones in the name of Aaron Swartz. Aaron Swartz had been, well, he hung himself earlier that year, right as I come out of the bone marrow transplant. I was in Manhattan the day that it happened, when it happened. So, I knew that I couldn't just go, here's everything. People have asked me, put it out there. Well, John Holdren last year did an interview. I'm the one that put the girl up to the interview. Second interview. He did an interview. John Holdren, head of the Science Technology, Cal Berkeley, the eugenics guy, head of the Obama, he ran the show from inside the Situation Room. When Fukushima happened, they gathered, like witches at black masses. So they were all called in. Somebody leaked it to me. So Obama, God, what a good puppet he was. By the way, remember Obama, Hillary ran attack ads against Obama in the swing states, saying he's propped up by the nuclear energy cartel. Exelon, Axelron, all these guys come out of that, just like Trump's people do. You know, you think about it. Flynn locked up. Manafort locked up. Where are they all working? The Ukraine. Who for? Florida. The whole nuclear industry. I mean, why does everything stop when the investigative journalism gets down? I saw Amy Goodman, who I know personally really well. I tell everybody I'm the only person that ever kissed a boy who's kissed freaking Amy on the mouth at the climate march. I love Amy, don't get me wrong. My daughter used to date her producer. She's great, but she did that great piece in Japan. She went to the emperor's house. She threw it up. When I know those activists. I'm going to be Skyping with those activists next week in San Diego. Amy put that activist, who I know, on her show. She's protesting at the emperor's house, just crying. And she could have gotten in trouble on it. She put it up. You know, I don't know if they got threatened or whatever, but she backed out. I see today she's got a piece out on Trump administration deregulating the waste so they can bring it here to Utah, which I've been all over that for months. It's already happened. You know, they're too late. The reactionary media you don't get it. Reactionary activism does not get it. I'm at the grassroots. I'm fighting it before it happens. I'm in the legislative process. I'm in the mix like NewScale. When I'm fighting with them here on the university, when I'm fighting them, that's 3 or 4 years ago, bringing little nuclear reactors, before the funding happened. Now these people want to get involved. It's too late. So my hypothesis is where they're going to push this energy in the Pacific Ocean. It's going to create an energy. We don't know what the hell it is. And you think about the ocean getting hot. Think about this. I want you to think about this. I don't talk enough about this. How many robots have they sent into Fukushima? They sent one robot in that they said could handle up to 27,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Maybe it was more than that. It melted so fast. Now think about that. This is the heat, the energy is being pushed into the Pacific Ocean. Lake Barrow in 60 Minutes. They did the piece on the road. Leslie Stahl, him. Well, how long did you clean this up? Don't know. Never happened before. Well, where's it at? Pacific Ocean's right there. Lake Barrett to Mark. Mark's his maintenance guy, who's friends of mine. Mark called me one day, 2013. I'm out of the bone marrow transplant. As you know, I got cancer on 11/11/11, given 2 months to live. What timing? What coincidence, huh? Here's the #1 freaking Fukushima activist in the world. I'm everywhere. I remember I'm driving through the desert with this girl. We'd been in Nevada, protesting the Nevada test site. She says, oh my God, that sounds like you on the radio. Late night radio, I think it was Coast to Coast, one of them, I don't know what the hell. I'm like, turn that back. Oh my God, that is me. Somebody playing a sound. I was everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I was all over media everywhere. I mean, some of my videos had hundreds and, millions of view counts. And then YouTube come back and they said they took away the abstract view counts. I mean, I was making front headline online papers all over Europe. I mean, when I travel all over, people all over. My uncle was in China, said people stood up and cheered, asked if they knew me. Now think about that. I'm doing interviews all over, I'm rocking the boat, I'm telling what's really going on in there, and then boom, the fall of 2011, I get a stomach ache. I have AML de novo, leukemia. Unsurvivable disease. I don't know how I'm alive. I mean, think about this long, ugly walk. I mean, my God. Get classified. I'm in critical condition. Trolls and rats attacking me like, well, the university could have paid my insurance, and they didn't. My bill, $1.8 million. I was a millionaire when I got sick. As people followed one of my, financial calls, I'd shorted silver at $47 in the triple leverage, shorted gold. When everybody was getting out of the market at 9,000 in 2011, panic, and I was saying, doing videos every day, buy. I was saying, buy Tesla, buy Tesla, buy Tesla, buy Tesla, 26, 28, 24, 32, 33. Buy the Apple derivative when it was at 280, split adjusted, it's at 1,600. I mean, there's video proof. That's the beauty of YouTube. It doesn't matter if people watch, freaking handle, whatever. It's just recorded history. That's all. God, I had $800,000 worth of Tesla stock at an average price, I think, of $29 when I went into the bone marrow transplant. I was uninsured. I had to sell every dime of it and fork over every penny. What's it now? 15 times that? I mean, we're talking. Now, would have I held it? I don't think so, but I mean, I probably would have had a few $1 million. Now I got none. So I buy these old trucks trying to survive, fighting this good fight, the cost, fighting for my life, fighting for your life. That's why I'm tied to this university. I'm tied to that hospital. I haven't been able to get away from it. This leukemia fight's been that long. Watermark valve, I had open heart surgery, gallbladder ruptured. I mean, so Hire trolls to go after him in my own government? Well, they did it to my father. They murdered my father, marched him to the Nevada test site, nuked him to death. They didn't give my mother 5 cents. I like all this stuff. Atomic veterans here, there, everywhere. The real atomic veterans were put in cages, and the real atomic veterans, the hardcore ones that were right there at Ground Zero, are all dead. They've been dead for a long time. They died of leukemia. Like so many are going to do USS Reagan, USS Reagan, USS Reagan. How about the other 32 ships they sent in? So back inside the Situation Room. It got leaked to me, the transcript. I knew I couldn't leak it out. I knew I had to dance around it. I knew that going to prison doesn't work anymore as an activist. Megan Rice proved that. Megan Rice broke into Y-12, the famous Dorothy Day raised activist. I know her personally. I go to the Dorothy Day house because I'm part of the Peace Vigil in freaking D.C. That's where they hub at it. At the Peace Vigil, that's the hub right there. That's the hook. And we've been there the whole time, 24/7. Filippo, Craig Thomas, myself, you know, Thomas who ran it forever, Ellen, I mean. No media attention? Dr. Rice's daughter, the famous professor from NYU, the famous Columbia professor, her mother, raised by Dorothy Day, the most famous activist nun in the world, is in prison. Barack Obama puts her in prison for life. I was at the trial. No media, no media. No media at the trial. At the I'm there. Video proof. Going to jail doesn't work because the media won't cover it. They don't care. You know, ask Young Manny. Ask Barrett Brown. Barrett Brown was asked when he got out of prison, well, why you did such great activists while you was in prison? You changed the whole penal system inside prison. Let's start this over.